Hello, everyone. Let's get started. Please download Laboratory 4 notebook file from Blackboard and then open it with your Anaconda Navigator. Okay, so today we will learn how to write codes about input and output. First, please revise the first cell to input your last name, first name, and a number. All right, double click. You can double click and then revise from here, right? And after that, please run this cell to identify your host name, username, and kernel information. All right. Yeah, and then we need to learn the input, like the useful programs to take input and generate output. All right. So first we need to learn the basic, like the basic input function, right? The case one here you see is a without a promote, right? So for instance, you sorry, you create a new variable named fries, and then you set a input function, right? You need to use your keyboard to input something and then use the fries to store it. Okay, and then after that you need to you print out the data type and data value, right? So you need to click and then write anything. So you can read any words or any numbers. For example, maybe the price of the fries. Okay, so please remember to press enter on your keyboard. Or if you have some errors, please restart or here interrupt the kernel or restart the kernel and run it again. All right. So you see, if you click it, then, for example, you see this, you need to input something, right? For example, here, put that again, and then press enter. And after that, you store this value to this fries variable. Okay, this is about the first example. And the second one, false data type, right? So after you input something, it will be converted to string, right? And so strings, let's use strings, right? But actually it's not necessary because after you use this input function, this phrase is defaultly string data type. All right, but here we just want to show how to force something into a string. Okay. For example, if you want to write some numbers, it is the same. Okay. But the next one here, you see we need to force the data into strings and then make strings all uppercases, right? So for example, here, let's see, we input a string, but yeah, you need to press enter then. But as you see, we string, sorry, it's the strings lower cases, but then it will be upper cases, right? Because we use this upper and round brackets to make all letters in their upper cases, right? So it's pretty useful because we need to use it in the following programs. Okay, so please make sure you understand each line of the codes. All right, so any questions so far? So do you have any errors or some warnings on your own computer? Okay, looks good. Next one is one more exercise here. Please modify case 3. So modify this one to make the phrase numeric, integer or integer or float, then rerun the script to validate your modification. So here you see this is case 3, right? So how to do that? You need to actually, for example, here, if you run something, then it is the same, right? But it's not necessary. If you run some words, if you input some words like here, it will output the words, right? But here we want to make the numeric, then we need to uncomment this line, right? You need to delete the hashtag symbol or use the command and slash here to make it active, right? So after that, if you put words, then you see it's an error, right? You can only input an integer. For example, here an integer, but if you print this one, print a float number, it will be still an error. So that's why here you need to use int or float, right? So float. For int, you can only input the int and it works. But if this way, you need to input, you can input some float number, but you can also input an integer and it will be considered as a float number, okay? Float number, right? So data is float. So please make sure you write a int or a float. It doesn't matter. So choose either one, integer or float, and modify here. All right. So it's about the first exercise and show me the output. Okay. So any questions so far? All right. So for now, as you see, we only use the basic function of the input, right? You see, we input something and then it will be stored in some into some variables, but it's not very clear because now we write the program and we run the program, but in the future we write the program and then let the other guys to run the programs. So perhaps they don't know what to input in this one in the programs, right? So after that, we need to tell, it's a good idea to tell the users what to input. You can do this by putting the hints in quotes inside the input here, the round brackets, right? So as you see here, the hint will come in the next line and will wait for the user input. It's the promote is like showed, is used to tell the users what to input, okay? For example, here in this example, tell me a beautiful number is a hint. It gets printed in the next line when asking for the input. For example, here, you see, it is the hint for the users. It's a good way. It's a good habit. Okay, so maybe tell me a beautiful number is 12, and then print out the 12, right? So yeah, so please use the quotes and then the hint here. All right, it's a good habit. And next one, so case 1, you can, here is, would you like fries with that? Enter Y or N. So you can enter either letter, okay? Either letter, but actually, if you forget that, you can enter anything. It doesn't check it is a correct input Y or N or not, but later we will show how to force users only enter what you want. Like here is Y or N, right? The next one is next one is about the we use, because in the first example we showed how to force them into a string, and after that how to make the strings all uppercases, right? So we can apply this technique into the second example. As you see here, input would like fries with that, the y or n, and then force them into a string, then force them into uppercases. And after that, print out the data type and the value. Okay, so here, if you see, as you see, okay. All right, so I'm not sure. So maybe it's about 15 minutes, right? So we can wait for a moment, maybe, and resume our classes in 10:30. What do you think? So how many people in that building? The firearm building posted on the, you mean the lab recording? Okay. Yeah, I will consider maybe here's the thing. So there's no enough spaces to upload the Blackboard because we only have like a maybe I'm not sure, maybe 700 megabytes in the Blackboard storage. So I cannot upload every lab recordings to the Blackboard. But maybe I will consider perhaps I can upload to YouTube, and then I can attach the YouTube media set. Maybe yeah, that's a good idea. But I think I'm considering, yeah, but yeah, you know, there's the professors can use the media site, but I'm a TA, I need to apply for the permissions to use the media site. Yeah, so it's complex. Yeah, so could you delete the old videos? Yeah. So I think maybe I can upload to the YouTube videos. Okay, so then I will attach the link to the lab folders. Then you can click the link to find the recordings on YouTube. Okay, sure. So what do you think? So we need to stop here and wait for a couple minutes. Okay, so I'm not sure this fire alarm will stop maybe in 10:30. Okay, so all right, so yeah, and I will continue so you guys can check the recordings. All right. Yeah, I will post the recordings, and then if you miss something, you can check the recordings. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, and I will continue. So here, as you see, in this way we can enter the letters maybe in their lower cases, right? Because the programs will help us to force them into their upper cases, right? For example, we use y in lower cases, and then the output would still be the upper cases because we force them into their upper cases. Use this line, right? Okay, so next one. Okay, next one is about the here, as you see, next one is about input response. So you can for example, in this way you put this this hint inside the input round brackets, but you can also use another string variable to store it, and then just call this variable inside the input, right? So you see, and actually this code is better than this one, because if you want to revise these hints, you can just revise the value of this variable. You don't need to revise any other codes. Okay, so you will consider yeah, so this response, and after that, see, it's the same. So it would be a better habit to have more variables, because next time when you plan to revise something, you can find these variables and only revise this line in their definition line. Okay, so it is about the input. All right, so any questions so far? You can try it on your own computer. So, and here is some like some more examples about the input. Actually, it's the Cylinder 101 example, right? So this script means something like, and then the point example is a promote like input function drawn from a list. Each use, actually it's an array, right? So the promoter would be array, as you see. Yes, no, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So actually there are 7 elements inside this array, and then you can use this promote to input something. Okay, so actually this promote 4, I can print out this print promote maybe 2, right? So as you see, I'm not sure, I think you have already learned that, right? So the index will start as 0, right? Because if you use 0, it will be the first element of this array. So this one would be yes, it would be the first element, but the index would be 0. But if you use 3, it would be a 4th element. Go away, right? So, and after that, if you want to use different promotes, you can use this way. You can call it and then put it into the input function. And after that, you see this one 4, the index 4 would be the 5th element. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th, right? And the string, yeah, so it's a string. So actually later, maybe then I think later. So it's pretty easy, right? So it's about how to set different promotes in this one. An exercise here is about how to apply this random technique into this example. So please run the script below a few times. It should output a randomly selected integer from 0 to 6 and copy it to this promote list and replace the last 2 placeholder strings from the response from the movie. Actually, it's I'm not sure what is the image here, but you can use that. Okay, so here is it's an exercise. So here is the import random. Actually, random is a library. So there are multiple functions inside this library, and then you set low is 0, high is 6. So here, this symbol means you can write multiple codes in the same line. Actually, this is exactly the same as low is 0, high is 6. So in this way, we use 2 lines, right? But if we use this symbol, we can put them in the same line, right? If you want to put the same, you can also use this way. If you want, right? You can put them in the same line, but it's not necessary, right? So just want to show you what that means, okay? and the promote, it would be random low and high. So it will generate a random number from in the range, and then promote this one, promote a number. And after that, copy the promote list here. So you need to copy, Control C and Control V, okay? Copy, and then do that again. But here, please replace this number would be the randomly selected number, okay? And please write. So you see the first one would be 1, and then the promoter would be the second element would be no, and then you input something. But next time when you write, it will be different because the number would be randomly selected, okay? Right, so you see different, very different, right? 5, oh, sorry, so no, yeah, so it's about the second exercise. Please make sure you have the correct code here. Okay. Sorry, I need to reply something. Okay, so please finish this exercise. So do you have any questions about this exercise? Okay, so next one is about one more complicated example here. It's about a subjective style. So it's like we use this to simulate the food service program. Okay, so recall from your lab, complete the order from cashier. Always said, would you like fish fries with that? Then first we use all the techniques in the first 3 examples, and we'll apply this techniques in this example. Okay, so first we need to define a string list or string array. So here, thanks for your order, first element, the second element, third element. So you see, and so when you see the backslash, it'll be special. You can use them to print out as you print out this way, and you can also use the backslash and n to press a new line. Okay. Okay, so it's about the first string list, and then it will print the first one. Thank you for your order, and then it will ask you to input XUC input with the promote and typecast to the string and false uppercases. As you see here, I need to show you. Actually, I compare this one with this one. So you can use this only one line to show the functionality of these 3 lines, right? So input, and then promote, and then set them to string data type, and then after that do the uppercases. So you see there are 3 different functions inside this one line. So it's an easier way to write it, right? But this way, maybe for readers, it's easy to read the codes, but from the writer perspective, it's easier this way, right? Okay, so the first one is input with the promote, and then fold them into string and for fourth uppercases. And if Y, it means Y. If you say yes, would you like some fries? Yes or no? And then if you yes, it will say excellent. I will add them to order. Have a nice day. If it is and it means no, they will print out. Are you sure? Really yummy, and it let you choose again, and choose again. You said Y or N, yes or no, right? And else means it's not Y or yes or no. It will print out. It will print the last one. You didn't enter Y, yes or no. and I quit. Okay, so let's see it. First one, thank you for order, then set Y, then excellent, right? And if you say no, it will let you choose again. You can choose Y, or you can choose no again, and then no worries, and have a nice day. And if you continue choose other letters, maybe for K, then it quits, right? It quits, or any other numbers, any other letters. So it is interesting, right? So any questions so far? So do you understand the codes here? Codes about this one? Oh no. Do if stand for again. So this one is represent else if. Actually, it's sorry, it's represent else if. So it means, for example, if it is, then if it is a Y again, it will print out this statement, right? And then after that, else, it means if it is not a yes, and then if it is a Y, then it will print out the statement for, okay? So for example, let me show you. First you said no, and then it will let you to choose, right? Choose Y again, and then yeah, so here if you say another thing, it will not perform this statement, right? Because here it means else means it's not a Y, but next one, only if it is a no, then it will print out the statement. Or if it is a K, then it will ignore all the statements. Okay, so please make sure you understand this one. If, and after that is else if, or you can just use else. But if you use else if, you can also have a else again, because else if. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, it's about the input, and the last one is about the how to format the input and output. Okay, so here is about the how to input some beautiful number, and then after that you set you can use this way to do the formatting. Actually, you use the percent operator, and then the dot 3 means it will keep the first three digits after the decimal point, and then it is a float data type. Okay, so and these two numbers are float data type, and then you use the percentage operator, and these two different numbers. Actually is two numbers, right? So as you see, for example, 12. Then you see the first number would be 12, and then it will keep the first three digits of the float number. It means, but for 12, actually it's not 000, right? But so it will keep the first 30. As you see, if you use 1 and then come again, so you see only 10, right? But if I say 4.3, then you see this way. It is only the first element, the first digits, but let's see, yeah, compare. So do you understand that? So it will use this to format the float number, how many numbers before the decimal point and then after the decimal point. Okay, so and based on this example, you can finish this exercise. So you can copy it and show me the different numbers. Okay, so for example here, in the original is 3 and 3, right? And for the first one, you see, you can show me it is 10, right? And then 10 squared is 100. And next one is about the 4. You can write, and 4 is 2. 2 is 4, right? And then the third one is about the, it's not used to calculate the square root. We just use this, we input something, sorry, 3. Okay. We don't use this program to calculate the square root. We only use this one to show what is the square of one number. Okay, so actually it's used to square. It shows to we need to estimate the square root, but it's not actually. I think actually it's the 4, and then it's actually it's 2, right? It's usually very near from 2, and the last one would be this one. So it is about the third exercise. So you can read my codes and please finish it by yourself. Please finish it on your own keywords. All right. So I will give you 1 minute. You can write the codes and input something to show the results. Okay. No, actually, you don't need to output the square root. You can just show like here. You can input 10, and then you show the beautiful number 10 squared is 100. Then I will know the square root of 100 is 10, right? Because use the program, you cannot calculate the square root. You can only calculate the squared. But if you, for example, for the last one, yeah, if you show the squared for 14.3 squared is this number, then I will know the square root of this 204.49 is 14.3. So I think it's enough for me, because for now you don't have you don't have any ways to calculate the square root for now, right? So you can use this way to finish this exercise. All right, so and okay, so next one I will show you the output. Actually, we use the print functions in several times, right? So later on we'll learn how to printing into a file, maybe next week. And here we showed how to use the print function. For the last one, you want to put exactly, yes. Here is input something, input your name, and then hello, and then after that is your name. Okay, so you can try it. Actually, yeah. So it's about your name, and you can also output some values from a list. See, here is some list, but you can also revise something. It's about the list, but actually don't. Please make sure you understand the index. Okay, so and the next one is about the number list, printed on the number list, and then the data type of the number list. It's a whole list, and then it is a list, right? And after that, you can print out the blank lines, and then use a new line symbol backslash and n, right? So you see, actually, let me show you. One is a one blank line, right? So here is blank, but you can also print out several blank lines. You see it's all blanks. Okay, so it's about how to use the print functions, but actually you have already used it several times. Okay, And next one is an important example. So we can use all the techniques today to show how to solve this problem with a script to ask for the usernames and then say hello and skip 8 lines, identify themselves as a calendar's Terminator model 101. So promote for name, echo the name, and add 8 lines and identify as a list. Okay. So for example, here you need to print your name, maybe your name for me, and hello, name, echo the name, right? And after that, add 8 blank lines. So it means you 8 blank lines. Here is 8 blank lines, right? 8 blank lines. And after that, you can print out these strings, right? So the strings. Yeah, so you see, you print out the strings. It's pretty easy, right? So it's about how to use the input and the output, right? Use the input function and the print function to do the output. Is example, okay? So next one is about the actually I told you about the how to format the output, right? We use this percentage operator and the format method, okay? Then use the percentage operator approach. It's a little bit easier to read and then show that, okay? So you see, we in the last example, we showed the percentage operator and F to print out the flow number, and then S means the string data type. Okay, so here is the string. Let me show you your name, and then here's the hello. Then it's my name, right? Because here it will replace your name to this one, to replace this one, to customize this print function. Okay. And after that, you need to tell your name and then tell me a name number. So it's a beautiful number, for example, beautiful number. Okay, right? So after that, print it again to show the different formatting of the output. Okay. It's about this example. So any questions so far? Okay, last one is about the ending the line. So by default, print the functions with Python ending with a new line, but you can also change that. For example, let me show you. For example, here we print new word, and then write and see new word, but after that it's a new line, right? If you don't want the new line, you can use this way. You can use the end. Maybe, for example, you can use only one space or some special symbols here. For example, here, the first one would be a space. Then it is you see, after that, it will print out the second line, right? But let me show you, if you don't use that, let me show you the difference, okay?
That one.
Then you see the difference. It will end with the new line, and then when you use the print function again, it will print the second line. But if you use this way, it will end with a space. It's a null character, no new lines, okay? And here is the way to use the. But actually, this one is similar. So you can also use this way. You can also print out this inside this one and then a new line. I think it's the same, right? So you see, you can also use this way, but it's similar, but it's not exactly the same. But I only want to show you, you can change the end argument to print out different things, all right? But it's with default. So actually, this one is exactly the same as end backslash and n. So these two are exactly the same. Okay. So exactly the same. Yeah, but if it is a new line, then you can remove it. Okay, it's about how to end the line, how to set the end the argument. And the last exercise is explore this code above and what happened when you change the numeric of the format of code. So you can copy this one and then change this one, change the numeric part. So you can change the format. You can change as you like, maybe 2, and the last one would be 4, but not 3, and run it again. Okay, so maybe your name, and then one number, then show different formats. Okay, show me the different formats. Maybe 2, 1, or 4, as you like. Okay, so that's all I want to share today. Please remember to HTML and PDF files and then submit your PDF files. If you don't have any questions, please feel free to leave the meeting, and see you on next week, next Monday. Thank you guys. And if you have some questions or some errors, you can stay here and show me your errors, and I will help you solve that. Thank you guys.
Hi, can you hear me?
You need to find square root of the squares. Actually, let me show. Actually, this exercise, I think the expression is not very good because for now you don't have any ways to find the square root. You can only use this way, like my ways to calculate the squared number, not the square root, right? So you can, yeah, you can just Google HTML to PDF, and then it is a website. Those won't run because they have depending input and can find a. Yeah, so reset all is here. You can run kernel. You can restart the kernel. You can click the restart kernel, or you can restart kernel and clear all output and run it again. Okay, restart kernel, please. Okay. Like working on getting a meeting at first. Sure. You can do that, and you can write the comments when you submit your work, and you say maybe it's just about the explosion ways. So yeah, you can submit. I think I said all this unlimited submission, right? Yeah, let me check. Yeah, unlimited attempts. So you can submit again. Yeah, and I will waive the late penalty for you for now because maybe it's about the website issue or some else. Yeah, but next time please submit your work on time. All right. Okay. Yeah. Do you need submit? Yeah, you can. Actually, for the lab assignments, you can only submit the PDF files. But for the projects and your exams, you need to submit PDF files and IPYNB files. Okay? Yeah. Okay, sure. Ending lines, ending format, ending exercise, or exercise here. Okay? You mean this one? Okay. one title about you mean this one? Okay, yeah. Okay, could I see your code where imported random number? Okay, sure. This one? You mean? Okay. Yeah, please. Okay, okay, thank you. Yeah, have a good one. See you now next Monday.